Connection.
Hello everyone, I'm Neha, your happiness coach, and welcome to yet another episode of Meaningful Mondays with Neha. Today we are going to have a fun banter with my siblings. Today's topic is a little sensitive, but it's going to be fun because it's going to be siblings. It's on siblings, how siblings connect today or why they don't connect today, and the fun bonding that I share with the two of them. So let's begin and let's get started. Hello and welcome to Meaningful Mondays with Neha. Let me introduce to you my two little siblings who are not so little anymore, but they'll always remain little for me. So here's introducing to you Nupur and Pooja. So Nupur happens to be an entrepreneur. She co-partners a firm called N Square Shop with me, and Pooja is an artist. So she is one of the most creative persons in our family, and any kind of creative work all goes to her. Hello and welcome Nupur and welcome Pooja. I know this is like a very formal setup. We've been interacting earlier. So today we are here to discuss that we have been brought up greatly and we are siblings and we connect pretty well. So what is the secret? The first thing that I'm going to begin with is how do you think the bonding that three of us share and that we share till date even after our marriages? So it's been almost, on an average, we have completed 5 years each because Pooja is the youngest and she's completed 5 years of our marriage. So, and still we have the same kind of a bond. So what do you think is the whole secret behind that we still share the same bond that we did years ago when we were like growing together?
I think just staying in touch, just talking to each other, sharing our most important things in life with each other. Whenever there's something good happening with us, we want to tell each other. Whenever there's something terrible that has happened, the first thing we want to do is just share it, because we just want to get it out of us at some point. And there has to be somebody always, and because that person, that go-to person has been, just each of us
for us, yeah.
Yes, so then what we want to do is, do that. So I think that is where that connect happens. It has been there earlier and even today. Although, we are married, we live in separate houses, we just want to just make a call. Thanks to technology, we can always, do a video call, see I got this, or, see how terrible I am, so, however. So I think that is one thing that really, helps us connect with each other.
Well, I feel now that it's been so many years and it's upbringing first.
True.
Very importantly, I feel it's upbringing.
Yeah.
And then the smallest of things that you do at home, be it, starting from sharing that we teach our kids, you need to share, you need to, we were sharing the same room. So automatically that trust is very important. When you share something, you put in a lot of trust when you share something with someone. So trust and understanding. When you're talking and when you're saying something, when you're sharing something, is that person even understanding and listening? If yes, I think that's where the connect starts.
Right.
That's the starting point, and then eventually, obviously.
I think both of them touched upon a very valid point when, when we were growing up, all three of us, the upbringing matters a lot. Our parents, these days, I see parents in a very different format, And if there are two kids, they'll have two different things at the same time. I don't understand the logic of they having that. All three of us shared one toy, right? We had one and we used to share that amongst us and that worked for us. But these days that sharing factor itself is like kind of lost and people just don't want to. I would really like to, request the parents out there, because sharing is one base important factor that, connects us. Today, anything even now that we end up buying, it's like, okay, I'll keep it for Pooja, I'll share it with her. So that thought is always there.
I think that comes from childhood. I still remember when we used to get bigger chocolates at school.
Exactly.
For birthdays and stuff. They used to be like, oh, she likes it, oh, Neha likes it, oh, Pooja likes it. Okay, let me take back home and share it with her. So there were times where we've done that as well.
So,
So yeah, that's what I told, the smallest of things. Just getting a chocolate in school and not eating it there and coming back home and sharing it because I need to share it with my siblings. So this is what, and it's anytime now also when I go something and when I'm liking something, I'm like, okay, the first thing that comes to my mind, okay, even she'll like it, so I'll take it for her, or I'll take it for her, okay, this she might like. So I don't know, it's just been there, the roots were very strong.
Right.
So I think that's why I think we've come such a long way, and even after marriage that has not changed. Because the roots were strong.
Very. So marriage actually happens to be a big change in everybody's life, so as it has been in ours. But today, a lot of siblings actually, if you go to see, a lot of them that I know personally were actually kind of, well connected when they were not married. But after marriage, the dynamics completely changed, and today I see so many of them them, they just don't even talk to each other. So what do you think actually has been the reason for us to even still stay bonded? You know, I'm sure a lot of siblings out there would love to know that what's our secret that even after marriage, see, obviously spouses are different, they have different dynamics and they have different natures. But how do you know actually what is that one thing that we can have that can actually help us be still connected?
I guess I think one very major point is being in the same city, like living together. See, although I mean there are siblings where they live in the same city and still don't see each other for months.
Right.
But then I think we make it a point whenever we have time on the weekend or just whenever we find the time, hey, are you free? Let's just meet up. Hey, let's just go shopping, movies, just drives, just anything. Array, it's been so long we've not met each other. So that seeing each other, I think it's always been there, we need to see each other, meet each other,
Right.
It's always been. Although, we stay, I mean, now her house is a little far off, so we like, okay, arey, why Pooja, you're not coming? It's like, no. But then we still make it a point and try
Catch
to,
up.
catch up at some point. So I think that is one, because we're emotionally connected with each other, I think that is one thing where, if we don't see each other for a while, we're like, arey yaar, it's been long, we really need to meet each other. Even if it's just nothing, we just chit chat, have an ice cream, or just go on a drive, just random song singing, whatever. So, I think it is just important to meet each other that way. So, I think, that is one thing
That has kept it saner even after our marriage.
Exactly. So, sometimes whether our spouses join us or they don't,
we end up catching.
Exactly.
Right.
So, that is important.
Right.
So I feel obviously there are going to be a lot of difference once you get married. Your spouses are there and dynamics change a lot.
Right.
But something that keeps you together and grounded, be it in the same city or elsewhere, I feel
Right.
the space that we give each other, not
Right.
interfering too much into each other's life and giving the space. Okay, if it's happening. If today I have a problem and I'm coming and telling you, so you're not getting just into it. Oh, okay, just do this, do that. I think that has been someone. At the end of the day, you just need someone to listen and
Not give too much of
Exactly,
gyan on the whole thing.
exactly.
Right.
Probably
It's just a
advise
vent out.
a very light one,
Right.
and that's it.
Yeah.
So that I think is very important and is kept us bonded.
I think those are
that
two
way.
important things that you guys actually highlighted, that space, yes, that's a very important factor, because a lot of siblings that I know actually get so much into each other's life that beyond a point you want that resistance ki, arey bhai, this is a line and you just have to be here. So yeah, that is a very important thing, and I think that plays a major role in being connected even after marriage, because you might still allow your sister or your brother to enter your space, but maybe the spouses don't like. So we need to respect that fact and just stay behind that line.
And also there are many points that I feel after since three of us are married today and we've got children, one thing that we never ever let seep into us is jealousy,
Right.
or
Valid point.
the difference of any
Stature.
kind of
Right.
difference. We just didn't let that get into us. Because what
Yeah.
happens is these days siblings are so jealous. Oh, she's doing so well, and then that's where the
Things
crack
start,
starts,
right.
and then it breaks apart.
down.
So
True.
we genuinely, because probably the upbringing or since being together, that we are happy for
Happy.
each other. If today you're
Very
doing
well.
well,
Yes.
I'm so happy,
Happy.
and I'm there as a well-wisher, and I'm
Exactly, that's the most important
Yeah.
point I feel.
Right.
Where you need to be happy about them coming up, them growing bigger,
Right.
rather than oh God, she's doing well. Why am I not doing? That kind
That
of
feeling.
And I
not
feel
just from outside but from the inside. Some
True.
people they
and
just
I
show
think
them
that
that
has
oh,
been,
nice.
Yeah.
like she said, we have been brought up like that. At any given point in life, our parents didn't compare us and say, "Oh, Pooja is doing well. What have you been doing?" Or Neha is doing
Right.
well. What have you been doing? Never. I mean, it's like
So the comparison is never there between us also.
Exactly.
It's
So
never
I
there,
think
right?
that is one very important point even today, where even if they don't have siblings, parents tend to compare with friends and say, "Oh,
Right.
he's doing so well. Oh, he's doing this sport. Oh, he's doing this. Why are you not doing
Yeah.
it?"
Comparison brings in a lot of negativity and hatred towards the other person.
Other person, right? True. So I think that brings me to the question that what is that one thing do you guys that you guys think is like the base factor that actually siblings don't connect at all? What do you think could be the probable reason for it?
So one thing that I feel is the parents being the connect between the siblings. As in, if I want to say something, I go and tell my parent or my mom or dad, ki tell bhaiya or my didi, she's doing this. So my mom or my dad becomes the mediator. Instead of them telling me ki no, you sort it out yourself, they become the mediator.
Right.
So that, so every time you have something, you just tell your parents, okay, tell bhaiya or tell didi to do so, and you're not telling it directly. So that connect is not there because you're not telling it directly. You're not talking directly at all.
Right.
So I feel
that's a very valid point actually. In fact, I have closely seen a lot of relationships like that where the entire conversation runs through the parents.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're old enough, you're grown up. When we were young, when you had to have those little fights, did we actually go see those were different days? Going and telling mama she hit me, daddy she hit me, and all that. But now that you're grown up, it should be between you. Obviously, see, any conversation today, I would like to tell all my subscribers out there that any conversation between any two people, if it is direct, that's the best way to have it. Because when it comes by a third person, be it even our parents, as she rightly mentioned, see, the words will become from 4 to 40. And the connotation of the conversation also might be very different. How probably I might have told you or my mother would be very different vis-a-vis how I'm going to tell you.
Correct. The voice modulation, the expression changes.
Exactly.
Today I might say, okay, mom, she hit me. My mom would say, why did you hit her? So, she would start a hatred. So that's where the crack begins.
And the quantum of hit would have probably just been
small, and I just wanted to say, okay, that I got a hit.
Silly.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, apart from communication, I think, like she brought in the very important point, communication, lack of communication, that brings in jealousy.
Right.
So jealousy is again one big reason why, siblings don't bond with each other. For example, oh, she's doing well in studies. Oh God, so I don't like you because of that.
Right.
Why? Because, I'm not talking directly to you. I'm not discussing anything directly to you. I'm either doing it through her or I'm doing it through mom and dad.
Right.
And, I think parents also play a very important
role, right?
Because parents should say, why should I say you live in the same house? Why don't you just go and talk to her
communicate?
directly?
Exactly.
And when parents don't do that, that creates a gap between the siblings, and that's where the whole that small gap becomes bigger, and over a period after marriage, I mean, there's no connect left at all.
That's a very important point that you highlighted is that parents play an important role here. I completely agree. If the parents actually are not pushing the kids to talk themselves and stop this communication and complaining to them, the bonding will never happen. That's actually so true.
Obviously, the kid has its own characteristics, of course, but again, parents and also them shouting in front of the elder kid or the younger one.
Yeah, right.
So that affects. So today I know, okay, my parent is going to support me and she's going to get the scolding. So that sadistic pleasure is there. And then all very small points, lack of communication, ego. Now, and if after that comes ego. Now you're very egoistic that why should I talk? If she wants to come, she can talk to me.
Exactly.
So it's like that.
True.
And we never had that. Today, if I had something, okay, I'm coming to you, I'm coming to you. I never had that ego ki, okay, if she's doing, let her come and talk. Or even if there were mistakes that we did, or, probably I did something wrong. It never took me a longer time to come and apologize.
Right.
The moment I realized, I'm like, okay, I'm wrong. I have to go apologize to you, apologize.
Very important point that actually you said here. I actually, as a person, I'm a calling person. That's what everybody calls me in my family also. Because I take hardly 2 minutes. I am a person who will keep calling everybody in the family once in a while and keep talking and all that. And these two are not people who actually end up calling so much. It will be always the outgoing call from my end would be to them. Nupur at least makes it a point to call once in a while. She is the least calling person. But it never comes to my head that, oh God, if she isn't calling, I will not call her because she's never called me. See, the moment that feeling comes into you, right? See, what my thought process is, the idea is to connect, stay connected and talk, right? So, how does it matter if she's calling or I'm calling? And the worst thing is you go and complain this about this to your parents and say, she never calls me, please ask her to call me. I think that's the most silliest thing on this planet.
Like we bring in the earlier point in here where the bonding continues even after marriage. One big reason being there is no interference from parents also.
True. Exactly.
There is always this thing that parents are like trying to say, oh, she's there, oh, she's been telling this about you, oh, she's been, and it's not the intention of the parent to
Right.
actually make them fight.
Correct.
And then what happens, because we have a lack of communication, I'll be like, oh,
It only
she's doing
builds up.
this. So
True.
their ego seeps in, jealousy seeps in, lack of communication,
And then it's all
everything
negativity.
it's gone.
Right.
It becomes negative. They come to a point where we fight, we don't wish to talk to each other, we don't wish to see our faces, although we live so close by. So
And that whole relationship kind of, collapses there.
Parents, and of course after a point I think it's also the company that you have around. If you have the same kind of people, of course after a point of time you will have that feeling. Today, if in case I have a spouse who's like that, so at some point of time after so many years, now I have seen people like that. This is for example when I've seen with my eyes that your spouses, I mean two people, they just tend to become like the other because of the continuous cribbing and nudging of one person. You just give up, and at the end obviously you somewhere 50,
Lose
60,
it
70% become like them because they are wanting. And after certain years, one person I think it will give up, and you're like, okay, just if this builds
Whatever.
a happiness, this is what it is.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So it was a fun conversation. So I think we would like to end this thing with giving out there from all three of us that one tip that you think is like the most important according to you to stay connected and to stay really bonded with the siblings. No, Nupur, to begin with you.
I think to begin with, see, we are older now. I think even if you are, as old as us, even older than us, there is still time. Try, talk to your sibling, understand why that gap came in. Because, when you communicate, it is always easier to, bridge the gap, get closer to each other.
Right.
You might never know, you will still connect with each other. At the end of it all, your siblings.
Right.
So, that connect should come to you.
So one tip that I would want to share to the siblings, especially to the parents, do not really fight in front of them. And even if it's with your siblings, the parents fighting with their siblings, that gap should end. Even if it's there, don't show it out to your kids so that that does not imbibe in them and they do not follow that. So do keep that in mind. And for siblings, just try and talk it out and show that faith and trust in your sibling. Try it once. If it does not work out, it's fine. But I'm sure you should definitely give it a try.
Right.
It might just work and you would have a friend for a lifetime.
So I hope all of you enjoyed and had a great time. And just as I did, do go out there and share. Guys, come on, grow up. Do share the video with all your siblings whom you have this same kind of mad connect. And definitely with siblings who don't connect with each other. It is important to have such positivity around and the love there. So do share the video, enjoy this, and let us know how it worked. Until then, it's me, Neha, Pooja, and Nupur saying bye.